Hey, what's going on, guys? Are you hurting or are you helping the trucking industry by the way you operate your equipment? Today, I'm going to talk about 5 items, things that I have just been noticing that unfortunately are not getting better on the road. It's getting worse. The first item I'm going to talk about is speeding. I've got 3 subtopics below that. Secondly, pre-trip inspections and post-trip inspections. Thirdly, tailgating. Fourthly, passing distances and signaling. And the 5th one is distracted driving. We're going to jump into that right after this. Okay, speeding. The first topic I want to talk about within speeding is just generally speeding. Speeding down in city streets, non-highway type situations. I see it all the time. I see speeding in construction zones. Those can carry a pretty stiff penalty with them. And just speeding in general. I mean, I don't know what it is about, I hate to say it, Amazon drivers. Wow. They seem to speed some of the most. Those and cattle haulers. What's up with the cattle haulers? Always speeding. But yeah, I mean, that's just something to keep in mind. It's always, our vehicles are very comfortable. They're very nice, and it's easy to get going a little faster than we should. Another area I want to talk about is speeding when the conditions are bad, weather conditions. Fog, rain, snow, ice conditions. We've already had so many pileups already. These are things that you would think over time, as you see these situations happen, you would think that drivers would think, okay, I need to slow down. And you do. You need to. You need to be very aware of your surroundings, what's going on with the weather, and drive accordingly. Sometimes it happens, and it's great to see when everybody slows down and turns on your flashers or whatever. It happened to me. I've got some footage right here. One morning when I was leaving New Mexico, truck stop there, heading back toward Arizona. The fog was socked in so badly. I think I was going probably at 75 miles an hour in that portion of I-40 there, heading west. And I was going like 40 miles an hour because I couldn't see. The video footage, the camera actually shows more. I can see further through the camera than I could through my windshield. So the camera might make it look like it wasn't that bad, but it was pretty bad. And it was very, as I mentioned before, I'm cruising because I couldn't see. And so I've got my hazards on as well, and truckers were just flying by me. That's part of the problem. It's not part of the solution. Was it a pain? Yeah, because I've got deadlines just like anybody else's, right? So yeah, so that's tough too. But what ended up happening, I don't know, 45 minutes later, everything cleared up, and we're on our way. That's one of the things about speeding, is that just understand that we all have deadlines, but to drive at an unsafe speed, it could put you and other people in jeopardy. And over what? 15-20 minutes? Because a lot of times, even if you're stuck behind somebody, and I see people get really angry and put themselves into situations that can be dangerous trying to pass when it's not safe. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of patience is what we all need to exercise out here to be a part of the solution. Okay, so please slow down when the weather gets bad. The third area I want to talk about is actually a combination of both, the fuel aisle and at truck stops. What it seems like sometimes, because most truck stops are right off the freeway, what I see is drivers getting off the freeway. You've just been cruising at 70, 75, and they get off the freeway and they drive through these truck stops. I mean, so fast. It's like we need to have an awareness that, okay, you're not on the freeway anymore, okay? We're off the freeway, and I'm in a truck stop. 10, 15 miles an hour. You got to slow down. And these are just things I see all the time. And like I said, they're not getting better. It's almost like someone needs to say something. Recently we've had a couple of people killed in truck stops, and I don't know all the details about it, but these are just areas where we need to take more caution and need to slow down and be more careful. Fueling aisles. See people flying through fueling aisles. They get their fuel and then they take off. Some people go through the fueling aisle maybe to get a parking spot, and I've seen them just fly through fueling aisles. It's like, again, awareness, having an awareness of where you are. You're at a fueling station. You have people walking back and forth with their animals and their families sometimes. Really have to slow down. If you're ever in an accident and an investigation is done and they look at your ELD, because your ELD will tell them what speed you were traveling, and if it's found out that you were traveling too fast, either in general, for the weather conditions, or whatever was going on, you're going to go down. You're going to go down for that. So that's something just to keep in mind. The second area I want to talk about are pre and post-trip inspections. Now, if you have a CDL, you were trained to do quite extensively to do a pre-trip and a post-trip. This is a piece of equipment that you're operating. Okay, you're in charge of this equipment to make sure it's running in tip-top condition. So that means doing a pre-trip and a post-trip, whether it's raining, snowing, whatever, high winds, whatever the conditions outside, you still need to do your pre-trips and your post-trip inspections. You need to have a flashlight. Do you have a flashlight? Someone mentioned on their channel, I believe it was Cash. I use Cash's examples in a lot because he talks about a lot of stuff that's relevant. He mentioned one time he was pulled into a DOT check station, and he had mentioned they were going over his log books and saw that he was driving at night. He was starting early in the morning type of thing, and they asked him, do you have a flashlight? They were testing him. He pulled out his flashlight. He had a flashlight. If he did not have a flashlight, he probably would have been cited as not doing a pre-trip or a post-trip, because you're not going to be able to do a pre-trip or a post-trip in the middle of the night if you don't have a flashlight, your phone light, whatever, some type of light. So, these are things that we're responsible for. As commercial drivers, as professional drivers, you need to do your pre-trips and your post-trips. I can't tell you how many times I've sitting in my cab getting ready to start my day, and I see the driver next to me come out of his bunk or her bunk, basically start the truck up and drive away. That's not part of the solution. That's part of the problem. That's what's hurting this industry. I once witnessed a young lady, and I don't judge males or females. They're fine drivers, male and female out here. But in this one particular case, she was driving a flatbed. I was standing outside the truck talking to another driver. We were just making conversation, and she drove away, and her tire was literally hanging off of the rim. And I thought she was gonna, because at the truck stop I was at, there was a tire center right over here, and I thought she was driving over to get that tire fixed. And I tell you, it really kind of hurt my heart. It really did, because I'm passionate about this. But she didn't go to the truck stop. She got right up on the freeway and drove away. Pre-trips, post-trips. Those types of things are really, really important, because sometimes you can spot things that can cause you problems. Maybe it can cause you to have an accident. Maybe you have lug nuts missing off of your tires, that type of thing. I'll show you a video right here. One time I did a post-trip inspection, and there was a big old boulder stuck into one of my duals in the back. I didn't see it, and good thing I saw it, and it took a crowbar to get that thing out, from between my duals. But anyway, these are all things that if we're not doing them, it can hurt the industry. But if we're doing them, And I encourage all of us to do your pre-trip and your post-trip inspections. You're going to help the industry. Think about this scenario. If you pulled into a truck stop for the night, did your 10-hour break, get up in the morning, start your engine, and drive off. Say there's a homeless person who camped out underneath your trailer through the night. You didn't know it. They just went underneath there and camped out for the night. And you drive off and you kill that person. Who's going to be responsible for it? You are. Because they're going to ask, well, did you do a pre-trip? How come you didn't see the person underneath your tractor, underneath your trailer? And, there's going to be nothing you can say about that. But that would most definitely be tragic. Just something to think about. The next topic, tailgating. Wow. It's really, really disturbing to see how many people tailgate. I mean, really, they drive right up onto the vehicle in front of them. Sometimes it's a semi-truck with a semi-truck. Sometimes it's a semi-truck with a four-wheeler. And wow, that is so very dangerous. I've seen people do it while they're on their phones. Okay, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself with the distracted driving, but I'm bringing this point out. Again, this is something that is extremely dangerous. And again, we need to exercise a little bit of patience. We all have deadlines. We all have appointments we need to get to. But no appointment, no load is worth tailgating and then having a situation happen that you just can't stop. And you just barrel into whoever's in front of you. What we're doing is really serious out here. I've read that it's one of the most dangerous careers in the United States. And, we haul a lot of weight. And we're moving at some pretty fast speeds. And to tailgate, to be right up on somebody, to run right up on them, and try to push them out of the way or whatever. You're not literally push them out of the way, but you're trying to get up on them to let them know that they need to get over. Very dangerous. That needs to stop. It really does. It needs to be something that shouldn't happen anymore. And I mentioned this, again, it's not a rant. It could easily be a rant, especially that one, because I see it all the time. And it's almost like, the awareness of what's going on in that particular moment is just not even there. It's almost like semi-truck drivers are driving like they're driving their cars. And that is completely unacceptable and dangerous in this industry. And, if you're operating that way, please don't take it like I'm yelling at you or that type of thing. Maybe you weren't trained properly. I don't know what the thing is. Maybe you don't know any better. And I just put this out here to say that, that's extremely dangerous. You need to have at least 3 to 4 seconds between you and the vehicle in front of you. Something else under this same type of thing I've been seeing more and more between passing distances and signaling is that, a lot of us CDL drivers are not even signaling anymore. Just don't even signal. Just get over. Way too close and just get over. It happens a lot with four-wheelers, but, I'm talking to semi-truck drivers. If you have a CDL, if you're thinking about getting your CDL, we can all get lax out here. Again, these beautiful trucks that we drive, they're very comfortable. And we can just get into lulled almost into a false sense of security out here, but we have to really fight against that. We have to fight against it and remember the things that we were taught. Things aren't getting better. Things are getting worse. And I just bring this up to try to be a voice out here as someone who is concerned. If I do all of these things, if I speed too much, if I don't do my pre-trip inspections, if I'm tailgating, if I'm cutting you off, I'm not signaling, I'm hurting the industry. I'm not helping the industry. These are all things that we have to be aware of, and not just aware of it, but we have to act appropriately because we are held to a higher standard. You know, once you get a CDL, you're held to a higher standard out here, and it's important that we don't dumb down, you know, the requirements out here. We need to step up and be excellent drivers. My next point is very disturbing because I see it all the time. It's distracted driving. I see drivers texting. I see drivers watching movies. I see drivers with their feet up on the dash. I see drivers, you know, and we've seen some of the footage of people reaching for something. People have gotten out of their seat to grab something in the back while they're going down the freeway. Come on, really? Come on. You know, we can't do these things. You know, if you're doing these types of things, you're hurting the industry, and you may kill yourself or somebody else. And it's done in such a way that is so nonchalant, almost like, yeah, you know, it's no big deal. You know, right, rolling down the freeway, just looking at their phone. You know, I look over, give a wave. They don't even see me, because they're on their phones. Very disturbing. Very disturbing. You know, these are all things that that we really have to. Yeah, I almost don't have any words to say because it's so prevalent. Again, it's not getting better; it's getting worse. So, yeah, I'm just putting this out there because, you know, I really want to be someone who can maybe help. A lot of the people in my subscribers, some of you are new to the industry. You're just trying to break into the industry, and many of you are veterans in the industry. So a lot of this probably doesn't apply to you, and it probably doesn't, because many of you talk about these things as well. So what I would ask is that you would share this video. If you could share it out there and we could just put it out there more, maybe we can start to make a dent, because, you know, it really is concerning, because, you know, things aren't getting better, things are getting worse. So maybe we all can come together and help each other out, and make the industry a good industry. Be someone who's helping the industry and not hurting the industry. My next video, I will be talking about a new addition to the Scorpion Trucker over the road family here. I just purchased an air fryer, and man, it's been a game changer. Check that video out. Hey, thanks again, guys. Hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and make it a good one. Scorpion Trucker out.